What is it again, just for the folks at home?
We got cotton candy protein powder.
Okay, so that's how we're going to start the episode this week.
All right, we'll try this out. Oh, man. Like, who thinks of this? Like, chocolate or vanilla? It's all the same stuff. Nobody wants cotton candy.
Cotton candy is such a weird, like, child flavor to, like, market it to children. Just like some dude sitting in his office and he goes, you know what the problem is? There's not enough swole 9-year-olds. Like, we need to get kids into protein shakes.
Yeah, like, this is mind-blowing to me that somebody would actually, like, buy this. So we'll test it out. I feel like my sister almost just, like, gave this to me to see how stupid I am. She's like, I wonder if Kyle's dumb enough to actually drink this. When I usually, like, drink or used to eat cotton candy as a kid, my one thought would be, like, I feel like I'm just eating sugared air.
Yeah. Some kids are into that.
Yeah, I used to be into it, but... Alright. You hear that?
I hear it.
Being made. Got a bunch of powder on my phone.
Gross. Alright, well, before you drink that... Oh, here we go. Let's see. Go. Right. Chug, chug, chug. Oh. Ah. Oh, I can see it coating your teeth. Oh.
No. Alright, so, I'm not gonna lie, way better than what I expected. Wow. It was like, it was good for like a minute, and now I just have the aftertaste of cotton candy in my mouth, and I really do not like it at all. That's awful. Wow.
Oh, well.
I'd rather literally just crush up a raw egg in a cup and frickin' drink it, shell and all. That was awful.
Well.
Yeah, all right.
There you go. We've got her open.
I got my protein going through the body, and I'm ready to break down these Wednesday night fights.
All right.
Hey-o.
Welcome back to the Throwin Bones MMA podcast. As you heard in the intro, Kyle's here today, fresh off a new protein shake. How you feeling, Kyle?
Feeling swole, ready to go, bro.
All right, and I'm your host, Adam Gerber, as always. We're going to break down the upcoming Calvin Kattar versus Dan Ige fight. And after coming off a UFC 251, which was frankly a wealth of riches to talk about and discuss, I don't know if this is going to be a super long episode.
Yeah, no. There's not too much here. Like, there's some good fights on the card, but there's a couple people I don't know too well.
Yeah.
So
I think good scraps, but not a lot to discuss beforehand other than, like, you know, hopefully this is good. I don't think a lot of these fighters are established enough to sort of warrant a more in-depth breakdown.
Yeah, it's kind of tough for some of them to know what to expect.
But the top 3 fights, I think, are really solid.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay.
Especially the main event. That's going to be a fun fight.
Yeah, right. I think that's worth the price of admission, and then we can both go through and outline some people who we think deserve some noticing.
Sounds good.
All right, well, we'll start off with Calvin Kattar versus Dan Ige.
Yeah.
What's your pick?
So, obviously, Calvin Kattar's coming off a big win. Knockout over Jeremy Stephens.
Right.
Looked really good in that fight.
Absolute masterclass in boxing.
And, you know, Dan Ige, you know, he's an up-and-coming prospect as well. And, you know, he came off, you know, he beat Edson Barbosa. I didn't see that fight live, but I do know from watching Dan fight, you know, he's a tough guy. He's a strong wrestler, durable dude. Do you think he's ready for this step up in competition with a guy like Kattar?
Well, I mean, he just went 3 rounds with Edson Barbosa and arguably got the win. I say arguable because it was, you know, fairly contested. I think I think it definitely could have and should have gone to Barboza, but I'm also not mad that Dan Ige won. I think that he did enough, showed adaptability, and I think he took enough of Barboza's tools away that you can give him the nod in that fight in a swing round, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it was pretty obvious that he was in danger much more and more often, and I don't even think he really necessarily put Edson Barboza in danger in that fight. And there was moments where he had to dig deep and really gut out a position to stay in the fight at all. But he did, right? And you don't necessarily lose a fight just because you had more trouble than the other guy did.
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
So to me, Dan Ige, when you watch Dan Ige, you're watching someone who could I point to a specific discipline or a specific skill or even physical attribute that he has that really sets him apart from the rest of the pack? No, I think other than his grittiness and his, I think his grit and determination mixed with his all-roundness and ability to recognize what needs to be done at any given moment and his willingness to do it. It's his fight IQ, it's his adaptability, and it's his grittiness. I would say is all of Dan Ige's specialties, right?
Sounds good. And so looking at a guy like him in this fight versus Calvin Kattar, how do you see him going for? How do you see his strengths playing into Kattar's weaknesses?
Well, I think one thing we've seen from Kattar in all of his fights, even the fights where he's won via knockout, is his susceptibility to leg kicks. The fact that he's that he has all his chips pushed in on implementing his background in boxing into MMA. He's easily, and I've praised him time and time again for being one of the most effortless, one of the most educated, and one of the slickest boxers in the UFC.
Yeah.
Especially the way he uses his jab to collect information, I think is something that's missing from MMA on the whole, even at the highest level. But it still leaves him open to things that boxers are open to, which is that lead leg kick because you have to plant all your weight on it and you have to leave it out there to be hit, and the takedown. And so far we haven't exactly seen many people who are going to take advantage of the takedown other than the people he's lost to, essentially, right? That fight against Zabit Magomed Sharipov, he really got sort of exposed in the ground game. Wasn't able to come back until Sharipov got gassed out. So if I'm Ige, I'm focusing on leg kicks. I'm utilizing combinations and that overhand right that he likes to throw to transition into takedowns to just keep Kattar constantly moving, constantly guessing, and constantly working, and just hopefully out scramble him. To me, that's the Dan Ige way here, is to out scramble him.
And kind of tire him out.
Yeah, but I think this is a much harder fight for Dan Ige than Barboza. I think
who he's fought in the past. Well, and also Kattar, he has great striking, but it's super impressive. He knocked out Shane Burgos.
Yep. Yeah.
So
and Jeremy Stevens. Who knocks out Jeremy Stevens?
Ricardo Ramos. He's got that knockout power, and he's got very, very nice striking, very good striking. Very nice, I don't know. I can see Ige giving him some probs in this fight, just because, like you said, Ige is such a gritty fighter, and I could see this kind of, him using his grappling and just, his grit to kind of wear him out and maybe get a finish in the later rounds. Or not a finish, but kind of slow him down in the later rounds.
Yeah, maybe. I'm honestly, even though I've become a pretty big Dan Ige fan, I'm a fan of his game. I'm a fan of the do anything you need to do to win. No matter what, just take advantage of whatever weakness there is. Yeah. But I think Kattar might have his number in this one. They're both coming off of pretty recent fights. Kattar's was much easier as far as the amount of damage he took and how long he had to work out there for. I think Kattar he maybe doesn't have more pop in his shots. Like, I don't think anyone's going to dispute the punching power of Barboza. But I think when it comes to Barboza, the book is out there on how to beat him. He's going to back up straight into the cage. You know, and swing on the way there. Whereas Kattar, I think, has much craftier footwork. And I think he's able to retreat in more diverse ways. And he's able to do it while throwing shots back at you and counter-striking. And picking times for offense, whereas once Barboza's in retreat mode, he just goes into retreat mode until he hits the fence. So I think there's not as many defensive flaws with Kattar that Ige is going to be able to take advantage of without putting himself in a lot of danger. And I think when he is in danger, I think Cater's such a good boxer that he's just going to crack him over and over again. Like, I honestly see this as being a pretty nasty stoppage for Kattar.
Yeah, fair enough.
Great fight though. That's my prediction for this is before anything happens, before a stoppage or a gutting out decision, before either of those things happen, this is going to be a great scrap. Yeah. Because you got the ability of Calvin Kattar to just hang out in the pocket and return fire in a firefight, and you've got, like we said before, the willingness of Ige to recognize what needs to be done and to throw himself directly into the fire in order to do it.
Yeah, he'll take the risk for the reward.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well,
and that's the thing is mid-fight, minute by minute, he's so quick and so fast at making those calculations of, is rapidly changing my game plan right now, or is rapidly changing what I'm doing, is it going to be beneficial to my cardio, to my game plan, to my control, to everything, to the damage I'm doing. He's able to make these calculated decisions in like a split second in there. And it's a treat to watch.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to this fight. This is one I don't know at all what's going to happen. I'm going to go for Dan in this one. He's impressive, and I'm going to take the underdog in this fight Saturday night. So I'm going to go with Dan.
Right on. I mean, I took Dan against Barboza, and I think this is probably the first time I'm going to pick against him since I've started watching him. I think Kattar's going to have his number.
Fair enough.
I think he's going to have the reach on him.
Okay.
And I think his defense and his counter striking are going to be too on point, and Ige is going to be too willing to throw those hands, I think.
Yeah. Cool. Well, sounds good. All right, so we both got different picks on that one.
We sure do.
Yeah, I like it.
What about Tim Elliott versus Ryan Benoit? That's how they've been saying it, right? It's not Benoit, it's Benoit, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's. Yeah, I think you're right. Honestly, you're usually the name guy. You're better with names than I am. I just know he's babyface. Just call him babyface.
There you go.
But yeah, Tim Elliott versus babyface Bennett. I'm a big fan of Tim Elliott. I know him a lot more. I've seen him fight.
Yeah.
I think here, he has as many wins as babyface has fights. So I'm just going to take Tim Elliott and probably a decision in this one. It's kind of hard in a fight like this because even Elliott, he has such an awkward style.
And Elliott, frankly, looked like crap the last time that we saw him. Like, I don't know if he had trouble cutting weight with COVID or training with COVID, but remember he fought, was it Alex Perez, where he just kept shooting takedowns over and over and gassed himself out. Brandon Royval. Brandon Royval. Yeah.
Brandon Royval, and then before that, it's funny because he beat that Askarov guy.
He lost to Askar.
Oh, he did lose. Wow, sorry.
Yeah, he's on a 3-fight skid to Figueiredo, Askarov, and then Royval. And the Royval was a really puzzling performance from him, I thought. Because I just didn't understand his game plan. I thought his cardio, it looked like he wasn't prepared in pretty much every way you cannot be prepared. It looked like he didn't have a game plan prepared, and it's like, I know that Tim Elliott doesn't usually have much of a game plan, but he didn't look physically prepared to fight the type of fight that he usually likes to fight.
Yeah.
And he was making questionable decisions that he doesn't usually make.
This is crazy because I could have swore I saw. I completely forgot. I thought that like Elliott got hurt and then came back and submitted a guy, but now I'm realizing that he's the one who got submitted. So
yeah, it was that he was winning a lot of the fight, and then he got caught.
Yeah.
He just got gassed.
All right,
and got caught.
To be honest, that still doesn't change my pick for this weekend. I'm still gonna be going with Elliott. I think he's gonna be hungry to get the win this weekend, and I think just his like grappling might be a bit too much in this fight.
Oh, here we go. So this is... Okay, weird. So Benoit was in the UFC, and then he got released from the UFC. And then now... Oh, no, he didn't get released. He did a grappling bout. I don't know, man. Because it's like, I agree. I don't think he's really at the pedigree of Tim Elliott, but I wouldn't say that Brandon Royval is either.
Yeah. That's the thing. I'm just basing this one off experience, and also like Elliott's been in this position before. You know, like he's been someone who's fought for the UFC. Like he's came off big loss before, and he comes back. He's inconsistent, really. Like
yeah.
After on the Ultimate Fighter and everything, I was like, oh, this guy's gonna do well, and then he went 5 rounds with Demetrius Johnson. He got a win, and then he lost to Ben Nugent by submission in the first round. So he's had lots of ups and downs. I just think that here specifically he's gonna get the win.
To be fair, they both have a first round loss to Ben Wim in the first round.
Both by submission?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry, yeah. Submission round loss in the first round.
Yeah, and wow, Bennett or Benoit, whatever his name is, babyface, he's knocked out Sergio Pettis in the second round, too. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I was just going to say, these guys seem to be sort of the definition of inconsistent. Because if you go back to Benoit, or I'm just going to call him Benoit, because I'm Canadian.
That's fine.
Him starting in the UFC, lost to Josh Sampo, win over Sergio Pettis, lost to Ben win over Freddie Serrano. I remember Freddie Serrano. Lost to Brendan Moreno. Win over Ashkan Mkhitaryan. I remember him as well with a head kick. And then a loss to Haile Alatang. I don't remember that. That I do not remember last year. So it's like, I don't know, man. Who even knows?
Yeah,
but I'm glad these...
Honestly, this is a fight. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. Like it could go either way for sure.
Well, it's like they finally give these flyweights is this a yeah? I think this is giving me this is at flyweight. They finally give these guys the spot in the co-main event, and they make it this. It's like what? Like you couldn't have come up with a better flyweight matchup.
Yeah. I just think I don't know. I just. Basically, based off what I know from base guys, I'm going off Elliott just because I like him.
I agree.
That's kind of where I'm getting my prediction from in this fight. So I'm going to go Elliott I'm going to go submission, honestly.
I'm going to go Elliott too, also by submission, and that's just because I think if it goes to the decision, I think that Elliott might lose with what we saw from his gas tank in the last fight, if he's going to fight like that.
Yeah, sounds good.
But yeah, I'm going with Elliott too.
I like that.
Jimmie Rivera versus Cody Stamann. I think this is a great fight. I think this is going to be a really fun fight.
Surprised this isn't the co-main event, honestly.
Very surprised.
Yeah.
Very, very surprised. They just really don't like Jimmie Rivera very much, apparently.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun fight to watch. It's a very, very good matchup, I think.
Cody Stamann is a great up-and-comer. I think he's super underrated in this division right now.
Yeah, and also, he's an underdog this weekend, so if you're trying to make some money, that isn't a bad call. But, in this fight here, I just personally think with Cody, like you said, he's an up-and-comer. Rivera, he was a prospect, but he's kind of taken a downfall. He's lost to like the champ and Aljamain Sterling, so it's not the worst thing.
Yeah,
but,
shows you how
Marlon
competitive
Moraes,
bantamweight is.
Yeah, it's so competitive. So it is tough to say. I just think Cody, like, you're gonna have to kill Cody at this point right now to take him out. Like, I don't think he's gonna go down easily.
No, and he's shown to be so durable as well.
Yeah, so I think with that extra motivation he has right now, I think he's gonna pull off the upset and get the win.
I think there's definitely a point to be made there. Like, if there's one thing you can say about Cody Stamen's game is that it's comprehensive. It's well put together, and it's cerebral. He knows what's going on in a fight. You know, he's aware, and he's everything he does is to serve a specific purpose, and a purpose that's put together and cohesive. Whereas Jimmie Rivera gets out there, and he does seem at certain points like he's just kind of out there doing stuff to see what happens, to see what works. Whereas Cody Stamann is a man with a plan out there always.
Yeah.
He's the Cody Stamann with the plan, if you will. And and to me, this is going to be a changing of the guard moment. Unfortunately, Jimmie Rivera is in a division where these studs keep hitting him one after the other. I think in a lot of other divisions, he would be a top 5, top 3 fighter pretty consistently based on his technical skill and his physical attributes. But I don't think he has much of a chin. I think his chin is like really suspect. I think he gets knocked down pretty easily. And I don't think he has a comprehensive enough game plan to go along with his technical skills to reliably get him far enough in this division. And on top of that, I think Cody Stamann, if he really wants to, I think can probably out-wrestle Jimmie Rivera.
Best thing that could play a big factor in the fight.
I absolutely expect, or sorry, I think the mic might have gone out there for a second. Like you said there, sorry, you didn't really think about the wrestling, whether or not it would be a factor.
Yeah.
You just sort of have seen this as more of a striking match. I'd be surprised. I'd be really surprised if we get to the end of this fight and we haven't seen some takedown attempts from Stamann. I'd actually be surprised if we got to the end of the first round and he hadn't at least been feinting takedowns within his combinations.
Yeah, try and just get him thinking about it.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go with Cody here, Stamann. I'm going to go with him. Let's see here. Probably by decision, I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's a good call.
I'm saying, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go with the decision in this one for him.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. Are there any more fights that you think are good fights to talk about, or is it just you want to start calling out some people to look out for?
Yeah, I think it's just more or less people to look out for.
Yeah, I think Jared Gordon versus Chris Fishgold is going to be a very good fight. Yeah,
sure.
Jared Gordon always brings it, the definition of veteran-style fighter. Very crafty, like jack of all trades sort of fighter. And then Chris Fishgold comes out, kind of the grappling ace that's come over. He was the champ of Cage Warriors. He took up the title after McGregor left Cage Warriors. So to me, I think that'll be a really interesting fight.
Nice. Who do you got in that one?
It's tough to bet against Jared Gordon.
Yeah.
He's just got so many tools, and he just finds a way to win while he's in there. In a way that Fishgold, if he can't get the takedown and work the submission, he seems to really have a lot of trouble. And I just think Jared Gordon's going to be good enough everywhere to take advantage of that.
Yeah, I mean, Jared Gordon's had kind of a rough run in the UFC, eh?
Oh, definitely.
Damn. But he's been knocked out a few times, but he's also fought some good guys.
But all fights where he's been doing pretty good until that happened.
Chris Fishgold.
I don't know if I see Chris Fishgold landing that shot. I just don't think he's going to out-grapple Jared Gordon.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh, damn, this is news.
What?
This is the fight I was just about to talk about. Apparently, 2 fighters missed weight for this fight card.
Ruh-roh. Who?
1 second here. Oh, wow, as we're talking about it, Chris Fishgold weighed in 3 pounds over the non-title featherweight limit of 146 pounds. Oh, he'll face Jared Gordon just like Fishgold. Whoa, what's going on here? So, that fight's still going on. Jared Gordon and Fishgold still happening. But welterweight Abdul Razak Al-Hasan, who I was going to say look out for.
Yeah,
he
missed.
also weighed in 3 pounds over the limit.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So it's interesting. The title said how 2 fighters got taken off the card for missing weight, but it looks like both those people are fighting, and UFC removes Kenneth Berg from the event. So my apologies, but apparently had a bad weight cut, and got taken off the card.
Oh, so that fight's not happening at all now, hey? Versus Munir?
Pardon?
Versus Munir Lazez? That fight's not happening at all?
Berg, sorry? Kenneth Berg? He was fighting... 1 sec, just said right here. He's fighting Jorge Gonzalez.
Who is? Sorry?
Kenneth Berg.
Kenneth Berg is fighting...
We talked about Chris Fishgold and then Al-Hasan, how they both missed weight, and then it just led into basically saying Kenneth Berg had a bad weight cut and he got taken off. So the title of this was just misleading. I apologize.
I see. Kenneth Berg was going to fight Timo Fuch. Oh, right. Okay, so here's what happened. Kenneth Berg was going to fight this guy called Timo Fuch, or Fucht? Feucht. Man, that sucks. But they took him off the card because he apparently had some like past ties with like a neo-Nazi group. So
that's not what I'm reading here. They have a completely different opponent for him. Let's just move on.
No, but just wait. They took Timo off, and then they scheduled him again. Then they scheduled Kenneth against Jorge Gonzalez.
Oh, like the other guy had a...
Yes.
Kind of.
Yeah, and so Kenneth was gonna fight someone else, and then they took that other dude off because he was like a neo-Nazi in the past. It was a really weird story. And then Kenneth was gonna fight Jorge Gonzalez instead, and now Kenneth has missed weight, and so it got taken off.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what happened. Okay, but Al-Hasan is still on, and so is Fishgold, right? Those 2 fights?
Yeah, they're both on. They just got to give away 20% of the purse.
Okay, cool.
I love how they put both those fighters in the title like they're off the card.
Yeah, they're just the most recognizable ones.
Kenneth Berg.
Yeah.
The opening fight to the card.
I was like, because you started talking about Kenneth Berg. I'm like, who's Kenneth Berg?
Yeah, exactly. Some tatted up, a bigger version of McGregor, it looks like.
Yeah, right? So yeah, that Abdul Razak Al-Hasan, I'm excited to see that. He's been out for a while because I think he got accused of sexual assault, and then now he's been cleared in the courts.
Yeah.
He's usually a really fun fighter, and he's fighting Munir Lazez, and Munir Lazez, I don't know anything about him. All I know is that apparently Dana White watched his highlight reel and then signed him immediately.
Really? All right, well, I'm going to have to go check that out.
There you go.
But yeah, I look forward to that. To be honest, I know Dana White watched his highlight reel, but from what I've seen from Abdul in the past, I'm going to take him by knockout.
Yeah, no kidding, eh?
Yeah.
Definitely.
For sure.
All right, well, then we've got Molly McCann is fighting. She's always fun to watch. John Phillips, of course, is fun to watch as long as he doesn't gas out early. He's going to be fighting.
Yeah.
Ricardo Ramos versus Leroy Murphy should be quite a fun fight. Should be a good little
I'm
grappling
really
exchange.
looking forward to this one, honestly. Lerone Murphy, he put up a really good fight with Khabib's cousin there.
Yeah.
They do a draw, so.
Totally.
I can't say his name. I'm going to try Zabira Tukagov. But yeah, they went to draw. I really think Tukagov's a great fighter.
I think Tukagov is his. It's just his training partner, and they're from the same place.
Okay.
You think Tukagov's a really good fight, eh? A really good fighter?
I think he's good, yes.
You want me to drop some news on you, friendo?
Let's hear it.
They're targeting Zubaira Tukagov versus Hakeem Dawodu for UFC 252.
Shut up. No way.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay, so anyway, back to this card. And Ricardo Ramos is always great to watch. I think one of the most underrated featherweights they have on the roster. I think he should be climbing the rankings a lot faster than he is. So this should be a great scrap. I think this is underrated scrap.
Good. To be honest, I think even though I'm saying Lerone Murphy put on a good fight, I think Ricardo Ramos might be a bit too much for him in this fight. I think that might have to go. Yeah,
I agree. I think this might be his prospect loss where he learns a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Or he's going to come in and really amaze us. Either way, it's going to be great.
Cool.
And then the last thing, is, I don't think a lot of the other fights are worth mentioning, but the first fight of the night with Jack Shore.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say keep your eye on Jack Shore, everybody, because he's going places.
Awesome.
He is, as far as I'm concerned, he's the future of this division.
Yeah.
What I've seen from him so far, if he continues to improve at the same rate, we're going to see him fighting the Sterlings and the Aldos and the Marlon Moraeses. He's going to be at the top of the division really soon.
Awesome. Yeah, I look forward to seeing it. I've heard lots of good things. I've been seeing his name pop up lots in articles and things like that. So I look forward to it. Forward to watching him.
Absolutely. All right. Well, those are the fights this week.
Yeah, nice Wednesday night fight card.
There you go. There you go for your Wednesday night. Perfect. All right, and then we're going to see. Maybe we'll break down the ones for Saturday too. Maybe we'll wait. But thanks for listening.
Yeah. Sounds good. Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Great episode. Thanks for listening.
I agree.
Throwing bones MMA. Let's go.